to the Payne lair. Got Starrman here, and we got Max Payne here. And how's it going?
Hey, right now this is what you call a sense of accomplishment, isn't it?
Why would you say such a thing?
So,
The vehicle we're traveling in, it's a 2003 Dodge Caravan Sport. And my son just bought it on Saturday. Today's Tuesday. We had a few hiccups along the way trying to get it running, but my buddy Max, who's a master mechanic, is a guru when it comes to this stuff. We got it all straightened out, and I'm going to give it back to Max now to tell you what we did.
so we went and got the Starrman's son JP a new car, and this 2003 Dodge Caravan. Very quickly after we bought it, it was an economical buy. It was a great buy. It was $1,400, and part of the reason they were selling it is because they knew there was something wrong with it. You kind of hope to buy something like that, because when you do, if everything else checks out solidly and it's something quite simple to fix, then you end up in exactly the position you hope to be in, right? With a great vehicle that didn't cost you that much to get it running right.
Now, let me tell you, I love Dodge Caravans. I think,
And rightfully so. This is a nice ride.
I am an old man. I acknowledge that. But we had a Caravan, and it was a 2015, and it was great. And we sold that. It was vandalized. That's a story for another day. But we got rid of that, and then we had.
And that was a 2015.
That was a 2015.
This is a 2003.
And so I went out looking for caravans, and I found a 2001. And I bought it because it had 138,000 miles on it, I think.
Not even broke in yet.
And it had only been run back and forth between Arkansas and Utah. It still had the Razorback sticker on it. And this family had kids that went to Brigham Young University, and they lived in Arkansas, and the kids would go back and forth. So it was mostly highway miles, and so it was a great car. And we ran that thing into the ground. We probably put 90,000 miles on it. I paid, interestingly enough, I paid $1,400 for that vehicle too. I forgot about that. And it just ran like a top. This one needs an alignment.
So this one is actually a really good shape. It only has 180,000 miles on it. When I say that, everybody goes, "Oh my God!" No, but it hasn't been abused. And the things that mattered when we bought it is there's no raspy noises in the engine. At the time, it wasn't throwing any codes, but as soon as we got it home, it started throwing codes. We took it for a test drive, and they got it running good enough that they could sell it. But the good news was that the codes said that we were misfiring randomly on cylinders 2 and 5. So we changed the spark plugs and the wires in hopes that that would do the trick and fix it. But it didn't. And so the only other choice to replace in this vehicle's situation was the coil. Because this has an original coil that has 6 outputs on one coil, versus what happens more modernly is that every cylinder has its own coil. So this coil was actually quite easy to replace. So I said the only reason it would still be misfiring is because the coil is bad. So we went, cost us $66 to replace the coil.
Now, before we go any further, I just need to add that one of the weird things that was happening, and Max will explain why in a second, but it was not shifting in and out of overdrive correctly.
Right.
It just was not happy with that. Why would it be that?
Well,
if it's the coil.
We talked about, that was one of the things I said, was as soon as we got home, I said, I believe that the instant we get the motor running correctly, and the computer and the motor now speaking again to each other the right way, I think that will fix the transmission problem, because the transmission since it's part of the computer, is constantly trying to compensate for the lack of power. And in this case, it was the coil, and that means the engine was running on 4 cylinders. So the reason the transmission was constantly kicking on and off was because in overdrive, it was only running on 4 cylinders. And when those, not to mention, those other 2 cylinders, when they're that dead, then become a burden to the engine. So that's the great thing about it. So we replaced the coil, and after some cussing at Mopar for its strange ways, which every car company does it, the coil is numbered really weird, and you have to pay very close attention when you do this, because don't just assume anything ever in the automotive world, because it will bite you. That's a promise. After we got all the wires back to the coil the correct way,
enough said.
It really changed everything immediately. It did exactly what I said to John would happen, which is now, since the computer and the engine are talking to each other, the car runs fantastic.
It purrs like a kid.
Everything has resolved itself. The other thing I've done is I put a can or a bottle of what I call my transmission insurance.
Did you open a can?
It's actually not a can. It's a plastic. It's a red plastic bottle. I call it my insurance policy. I'll tag it and show you where to get it. You get it at AutoZone. I don't remember the name of it right now. I'll put a slide up, a still up of it. And then the other thing I did is I put a quart of Slick 50 in this, not a quart, a bottle of Slick 50 in this. I call that engine insurance. It's just something good to put in a engine you know nothing about. He can run it until he changes his oil the next time, and then I would recommend again that we put some kind of engine protection in it. The engine's got 180,000 miles on it, but it sounds perfect. I don't hear any rods knocking, no lifters clattering, the transmission works perfectly. So all in all, we both are really happy right now. Really believe we got his son a great $1,400 car. And the last thing we got to do is get this thing emission today. And in order to emission it, one of the things we did, just to give us another little edge up to make sure that everything's good, I believe that even with it running good without this, it would have passed. But we went to AutoZone and we bought this stuff called Cataclean, and it will help you pass emissions
and avoid a cataclysmic event.
And a catastrophic. So all of the catas that are in there.
And in a catatonic state.
Well, we're both, I think, in that perpetually.
And then if you're Catholic, you could go to catechism with this.
And you be catatonic and a Catholic with some cataclean.
In the catechism house.
Yeah, but not to be catastrophic.
No.
Anyway, hey, that's the stuff right there.
So we're here working on the van, and we are in John P. Livingston's garage. Make sure you say it right.
Yeah, this is a garage. Say it a few times and you'll get it.
Why is it a garage? A real what?
Up in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, where I'm from, it's garage.
Okay.
And that's just the way it is. Down here, it's sort of garage or something like that. I can't get that out. It's one of those Canadian things I cannot do.
Okay.
There's a few others as well. But anyway.
So you should take off.
Yeah, take off.
We're going to take this off in the air right now.
Yeah, we're going to lift this guy up. We'll close the garage door so that it won't hit the top of the minivan, and then you guys can check the brakes and see what you think. I'm going to turn the compressor on. The compressor's going to make all sorts of noise. May not be good for your video. Here I go. those 4 down because this last one might require you to hold on to it so it doesn't just come right in. There you go. And what you're looking at is right in here. You see, this is steel. Inside is your brake pad, and you got lots of brake pad on there. That's better than a year. Now, what you're kind of going to do is trying to tap just the outside of this guy to see if you can loosen him off, because he looks like he's fairly rusted on. Brake pad, brake pad. These are shoes, and you've got a year left on these too.
Okay. So it might have just been something in this making a noise.
Could be. Yeah.
Till the next time, I'm Max Payne.
I'm the Starrman.
Hey, until tomorrow, then.
Peace.